Do I treat other alcoholics like the priest and the Levite or like the Good Samaritan? That's a good question. If you don't know the story, look it up. 90 and 90, what does that mean? And why is that good for a newcomer? And is addiction a disease of choice? And is it hereditary? Find out here on Recovering Addict.
I'm LT and I'm an alcoholic addict.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT, and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Felice, and I'm married to this handsome fella right here.
And I'm married to this beautiful woman over there.
I read this thing about codependency and co-addiction, and there's this new thing called prodependency.
Prodependency?
Which is like a positive spin on codependency.
A positive spin?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Where it's like loving someone so much that you want to help is not a bad thing. We just do it the wrong way. I was like, oh, I'll look more into that. I just thought about it.
Yeah, because codependency kind of starts off with good motives, right? I love you and I don't want to see you like that.
Yeah.
But our reaction or our intentions are good, but the way we go about it unknowingly is enabling.
Yeah. It seemed really cool from what I saw. But I'm going to look more into it.
It was really cool. Hey, if you're new here tonight, this channel was started over a year and a half ago. We decided to go live as soon as COVID hit. AA and NA meetings were shut down, so we did close to 130 live streams in a row. We took a couple days off, and we grew a community that is bigger than us. We didn't expect this to be what it is. You fast forward a year and a half later, I've quit my job that I had on base to do this full time. We are selling our house, and we're taking the proceeds from the house, and we're going to open a center here locally that's going to be dedicated to relapse prevention, building life skills, and being instant support for people who want it. And we're going to try to provide that as cheap as possible, if not free. We're going to start tomorrow. If you are here local in Utah, 6 o'clock, you can meet us at the gym. If you are a part of the Discord, there's Utah Peeps, and I have the description and the location of that gym in there. If you'd like to join us, 6 o'clock p.m. We'll hit a light workout. We're taking the SOAR model that I learned from Hawk, and we're going to apply it here just a little differently. Not so intense. We're going to be more focused on your mental health and your transition back into society from burning bridges. We're going to help you build bridges, man. Maybe we can name that our classes, building bridges or something, or rebuilding bridges. I don't know. More to come on that, but that's what we're doing. But if you would like to be a supporter of us and help us what we're doing here, we do have a patron, and I thank you for your support who are already patrons. You can do $3 a month, whatever you decide if you want to be a part of what we're doing. We're not going to quit until I'm dead. And my goal is to open this one, have it up and running, and move to different locations and continue to do the same thing, Lord willing. The Bible verse says, you're a light unto my path, right? You're a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I'm walking by faith on my higher power. And if you think about that verse, light unto my path and a lamp unto my feet, it just shines a little bit of light just for you to see your next couple of steps, right? It's not a spotlight down the trail and I'm going to see where I'm going to be in a mile. His word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Just enough to make sure I can go where I'm going without stumbling. And the path is his, right? And that's the path I'm headed down. I want to provide support and love and instant support for recovering addicts all across the world here digitally. This is not going away. If anything, it's going to continue to be more populated with content. I hope there's content just continually. And Jake has stepped up huge in posting every morning and in his periodic lives. And then we go live on Sundays. And then our educational live streams that Felice and I do together. We go through books is on Sundays and Tuesday nights. We have a Discord. You can join us. And that Discord is where we have 24-hour support for anybody that needs it around the world. And every single day At 1 o'clock Mountain Time, PM, 1 o'clock PM Mountain Time, we have a recovery meeting. We get in there, we read the Just for Today or whatever literature that inspires us to read, and we just get it off our chest and talk about it. And there is something to getting in there, getting things off your chest. That is a part of recovery, and it helps a ton. And tonight we're going to go through staying sober. But first, I want to read the AA thought of the day and meditation out of the 24-hour day. And then I want to read a little bit on the 90 and 90 and why that's so important to newcomers is a great suggestion. And then we will get into this book and start this chapter on addictive disease and addictive chemicals and what they do to our bodies and our minds, our biopsychosocial disease that's created from a choice we made to start down this path. We'll get into that, which is chapter 2. If you're following along from Staying Sober, page 37. But today I want to talk about the AA thought of the day. It says, in the story of the Good Samaritan, the wayfarer fell among robbers and was left lying in the gutter, half dead. All right, this guy was going from Jerusalem to Jericho. He gets robbed. He's on the side of the road, probably got some broken ribs. He's laying there in pain and he's hurting, right? A priest and a Levite both passed by on the other side of the road. So here comes these high, mighty priests, these religious leaders of their day. High and mighty, look at us. We follow God's word, but they won't bend down to help this guy that just got robbed, right? They go on the other side of the street like he's covered in manure and might get stink on him, and they walk around, right? But the Good Samaritan was moved with compassion and came to him, bound up his wounds, so he was bleeding and hurting pretty bad, brought him to an inn, which is a hotel, and took care of him. And they paid for his stay there so that this guy could recover. Here's a question for you. Do you treat other alcoholics like the priest or the Levite or the Good Samaritan? And the kicker of this story is if you study theology, you study the Bible, the Samaritan, they hated the Jews and the Jews hated the Samaritans. So the fact that this Samaritan was bending down, bandaging up this guy, dragging him to a hotel to help take care of his recovery is a story within itself. You know, the topic for the Just for Today, or was it the Daily Reflection, was forgiveness. The Jews were the chosen ones of God, right? The Samaritans were like the half-breeds. They were half Jew and half something else. And so they hated each other. But he threw that aside, bent down and helped him, right? The Good Samaritan. So how do we treat each other? How do we treat other alcoholics we may not agree with? It's just a question to think and meditate on. Never weary in prayer. When one day you see how unexpectedly your prayer has been answered, then you will deeply regret that you have prayed so little. Ooh. Prayer changes things for you. Practice praying until you trust in God has become strong. And then pray on, because it has become so much a habit that you need it daily. Keep praying in prayer until prayer seems to become communion with God. That is the note on which true times of prayer should end. Here's our prayer of the day. As I pray that I might put much effort into acquiring spiritual things. I pray that I may not expect good things until I am right spiritually. Amen to that. All right, I'm going to let Felice say hi to everybody in the chat. And thank you very much. Was that Jeanette? Awesome, Jeanette. Thank you very much. She says, I want to let everyone know I am so grateful for all this love and support everyone has given me. Jeanette, we are as grateful for you for being a part of this community, and your congratulations on your 2 years and you and Alan's relationship and your kids and the way you're a great mother. I'm going to let Felice say hi to everybody in the chat, and then we are going to talk about 90 meetings in 90 days. It's an AA thing, right? 90 and 90.
Sorry, guys. I need to update all my links. They have disappeared. Well, I need the Discord one. But I'm going to say hi to everybody, and then I will find that Discord link and post it for everybody to join the Discord, because that is where you want to be. So we have Cherie. And Cherie, if y'all didn't know, is a fantastic dancer.
Cherie, sick moves. We were over on the couch watching your videos. Love it.
Amazing.
I still can't do that stupid
Orange Justice.
Yeah, was it like down, twist, over, up, over, down?
I suck at it all.
I can't do it either.
What is up, Michael Teeters? Second. John V, glad you're here. You are third. Desmond's good to see you today. Hey, Raylene, lovely as always. Shane, what up? Digging life, if y'all didn't know.
Yeah, Shane, he's kicking butt, man. He's going through life on life's terms. I love it. So's Geesh. So is Mad. God, that's what's so cool. Alicia too. Like, the Stephanie, everybody. Dwight, hey, what's up, Dwight? Good to see you. Principles for Personality. Is like Fleece said, join the Discord. That's where we meet. That's where we get to know each other, and then we get to see each other like succeeding in life, and we get to lean on each other. You know, lean on me when you're not strong. That's like Discord. Love it.
Beautiful. What's up, Brittany? Who else do we have in the chat today? We said hello to Jeanette. Who else is here? Proto Mendez. What's up, y'all?
Just join the Discord.
Everyone had a good day.
Yeah.
Good to see you here. What's up, Marilyn? We love you.
Marilyn, good to see you.
Kat M, glad you're here tonight.
Good to see you.
I'm glad you need this. Jeremiah Johnson. Hello, everyone.
I love that name.
I do too. What's up, Dwight? What's up, big brother? Epi in the house.
Epi.
There's that Discord link y'all can click on.
That's Patreon.
Oh, that's Patreon. Just kidding. I should probably read it first. What up, Kyle? Geesh. Yo. Yo. Ooh, Share Squad. Thank you, Petey. Yes, if you're on the Facebook side, please hashtag Share Squad and share us out. Never know who needs to hear this message tonight.
True that. Please share.
What's up, Blish? It was good to see you today. Had a great hike. Thank you again, Jeanette. And nope, not caught up. Jim. Welcome back.
Oh, read that.
We've been wondering. Hey, boss man and my recovering addicts. Hope y'all been doing good. I've missed you guys. Been a rough couple months. I'm still sober, and slowly finding my way back. Attaboy. Glad you're back.
Good job, Jim. Yeah, I've been missing. I've been thinking about you, bro. Glad to see that name and that comment right there.
Same. Everybody's glad you're back. We missed you. What's up, Steph? Hey, guys. Good evening, everyone. And I think I am caught up.
Raylene says,
yep. Back to Raylene.
Tomorrow is 365 days sober for me. No drinking or cocaine use. I'm so happy. I never thought I would make it this far. Huge milestone for me. Thank you for being here for me. Raylene, you've been with us like through that whole 365, I believe. And I'm proud of you. I wish we could have seen you in New Mexico. But I'm sure we'll be down there again. But congratulations. And maybe we'll do a little something special tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Oh, I missed Mad. Hello, Mad. And
Mad.
Mindy. Glad you're here, Mindy.
Yeah, very glad. Yes, and please smash that like button, hit subscribe button, ring that bell.
What a Facebook user
Throw 'em a
is.
super chat. Boom.
Hello, Reina. Good to see you. Yes, great to see you. Awesome hike today. Agreed.
Yeah,
We're
that was
all
fun.
zonked out as soon as we got home and ate lunch.
Yeah, we all got grumpy, hungry, and then tired.
Good job. JV says tomorrow marks 400 days not gambling, 2 weeks from 2 years on the sobriety.
Dang.
Oh, milestones.
Let's just do a quick math on that. How much money did you save? How much money is in the bank still because of that?
$2,576,899.32.
So 90 and 90. Who drop me in the chat if you actually have done 90 meetings in 90 days? Now I'm going to throw a little spinner on that because the suggestion is to find 90 AA meetings in 90 days. This is kind of an old suggestion back before there was a plethora of rehabs and counselings you could go to, right? Everything was still back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Addiction was a moral thing, right? You're a piece of crap. You've chosen to be like this and we're going to lock you up. Now the tables are churning. We're starting to see it's more mental illness causes by tragedies or whatnot, life circumstances. And there's more of that stuff to go, right? So 90 and 90 was an AA thing. Who has actually done 90 and 90? I'm going to say you could do 90 and 90 AA, 90 and 90 NA, or you can do, if you've gone through a 90-day program where every day you've had to be at a meeting for 90 days, that'd count too. So I'm going to say that I'm one that has done 90 meetings in 90 days. Alicia says, yes, I did 90 meetings in 90 days. I even started a meeting so I could do that. See, there you go. Dang it, they ain't got one Monday. Guess I'll make my own. That's cool. I have not counted. Do they have to be different? 1 or 90-day period? I think it's just to go probably search your area now that we have digital, I mean, you could come to a recovering addict meeting every day at 1:00 for 90 days because they're every single day. Locally, you want to Google AA and NA meetings in your local area, CA, SA, whatever. And because they're not going to be every day at the same location. You know what I mean? When I was in my IOP, we had to go to different meetings every week. And we went from Brigham to down near almost Salt Lake. And so do like a 30-mile radius around you and lay it out Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday and try to logistically coordinate 90 meetings out of that. Sometimes you can hit 2 in a day. You know what I mean? It's up to you. What's your sobriety worth? This is often known as 90 and 90, the practice of attending a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's who invented it, every day for 90 days in a row. It's a common suggestion for newcomers to AA, right? A newcomer is typically newly sober and requires significant support to maintain sobriety. It is common that a newcomer does not feel well physically and mentally, being deprived of the alcohol or drugs, which have served as a solution to the newcomer's problem until very recently. Without their preferred solution, newcomers are left to face their problems without the buffer of intoxication. We're sober now. We're going through withdrawal. We're trying to live life on life's terms. I feel like crap. I have a whole habit trying to get me back into it. I want to drink. I'm feeling emotions. What is this, right? That's what the newcomer's feeling. So it's good to go to 90-90. Daily attendance of AA meetings can serve several purposes. The first, I love this one. The first, human contact. We isolate as drug addicts. As our addiction progresses, the typical norm is to start isolating. I did that. Mine was barbecues and parties and bars and going downtown. And finally it was like, hey, I'm drinking alone. Okay, now I prefer to be by myself because even around my drinking friends, I drink too much. I drink more than they do. And it's embarrassing even around them. That's crazy. So you end up isolating like I did. I stayed in the basement and hid from everybody and pounded fifths of whiskey. It got so bad. It got horrible. So the first thing is human contact. You come out of that isolation. Oh, wow. Life, people. It's amazing.
How do I interact?
What do I do with it teaches you to start interacting. Newcomers are welcomed into a community of people who understand. Like, we get it, yo. We've been there. Something they've always had trouble finding. Haven't we always had trouble finding? I don't know if you're like me, but I've seen this with a lot of recovering people is during their addiction or even before, always kind of felt like the black sheep everywhere we went, school, family, anything. We have a hard time fitting. It just doesn't like we'll fit in and we get along and we like people and people like us, but it's just like, I don't think anybody really gets me. You find some people in recovery, they get you. Through that contact, they make new relationships, which gives them some hope as they face the reality of their situation. Another benefit of daily meeting attendance is that many newcomers are unconvinced that AA and abstinence from drugs and alcohol will be the right path for them. So I was like that for 47 days. Well, I was skeptical, arrogant, had my head in the air. This is stupid. I just want to quit drinking. What am I doing here? I don't need all this. And I ended up relapsing. I drank 3 shots of whiskey. And so that's another benefit because we go into AA and NA and all those meetings with that attitude. This ain't for me. Maybe I don't need to be abstinent. I just need to learn to control it, right? Everything inside the newcomer is telling them to run away, that alcohol, that work to keep them comfortable for so long is still the answer. You're fighting that, right? It's still the answer. Maybe one day I'll be able to drink normally or use drugs normally. That's just a battle that's going on severely in the beginning. They are sure they are different, that AA isn't for them. Everybody is the most unique when they first get to AA. Nobody's story can top theirs. Nobody's been through what they've been through. And then you sit around for a while and realize you're not as unique as you thought you were. That happened to me. But as the 90 days unfold, newcomers hear many stories of other AA members share. They hear a lot about other stories, right? Eventually, someone's story resonates with this newcomer. He or she starts identifying with their situation and feelings she hears, right? In this way, 90 and 90 is a large dose of AA, of recovery, right? Intended to create and solidify the newcomer's connection to his or her new AA home group. Hang in there. 90 and 90. A sober support group is a critical foundation for life and recovery, and it is complemented by a great substance use disorder treatment program. While some people do find lasting recovery through AA alone, many people benefit greatly from the deeply personal and individual counseling treatments, right? So if you need to go to an IOP or an intense what is that? Where you check in and stay in? Inpatient. And if you need to go to an inpatient, that's what you need to do. But AA is there to provide that for you. And so are we here digitally at Recovering Addict. And soon we are going to be that locally. And tomorrow it starts at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow we are going to be at the gym, 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday, for whoever wants to come, catch a little workout, catch some recovery talk, and go home. Take an hour and a half, 2 hours out of their day that they can remain sober, clean, and get to know people in recovery.
Yes, and shout out to Kyle Hibbett. He says Thursday was 6 months. Should have been 13, don't matter. But I'll take the 6 months for the second time.
Heck yeah, brother.
Keep it
Good to see you around.
up.
I haven't seen you for a minute.
What's up, Rachel?
Hi, Rachel. Welcome back. PD, to answer your question, I have not talked to Holly for a while.
Yeah, John says reinforcement of the message and the realization of why we are doing what we are doing, the importance in that to live a better life and moving forward, not backwards.
Amen to that.
Fire. Yeah. I got some of my stuff back. Well, so I will put this in there.
Fleece is going to drop some link, y'all. If you're not a part of it, join us.
I don't know where all my things went. They just all were gone. My whole note section disappeared.
I deleted a bunch of notes.
LT
Probably
deleted
that one.
It's okay. I got new notes.
So if this is your first time here, this is our third episode of Staying Sober. We are in chapter 2, page 37, if you are following along. It's called Addictive Disease. And what this book is really pushing here, okay, is a guide for relapse prevention. Here at Recovering Addict, we want to support the newcomer. Here locally, what my idea is, because we have a lot of treatment programs around here. We got inpatient treatment programs. We even got the Lottie Dottie Day Spa inpatient treatment programs. We got good IOPs, right? We got, stuff up in the mountains like Valley Camp, which are great programs to get you through your first 30, 60, 90, whatever days to get you clean and sober. But once you've done that, now what, right? It's continuing education here at Recovering Addict. And it's what it's going to be locally. You've done 90-day program. Now what? Are we going to focus on relapse prevention? Because it's a very possible thing. We got post-acute withdrawal we can go through for 2 years. And that's something we need to learn so that we can stop it before it happens. We can recognize the warning signs of a trigger or a relapse. In order to understand relapse, it is necessary to understand addictive disease. People often fail to recover because they don't understand their addiction, or they fail to do the things that could help them avoid relapse. Did you hear that? People fail to recover because they don't understand their addiction. You may get through the 90 days, you may get through the 12 steps, but do you really understand your addiction? You may through those, or you may not. It's good to continue to learn, right? What we put in our ears and our eyes is what's going to fuel and feed our mind, which feeds our spirit. And that's what comes out, life, good stuff. Whatever's coming out of your mouth is what's in your heart. We got to continue to pump in good education. Remember, nature abhors a vacuum. We're going to remove the addiction, the old habits, the old lifestyle. We have to replace it with something else because it's a vacuum, and it will suck. That old lifestyle will suck right back in. And so out with the old, in with the new is a cliche for a reason, because we have to bring in the new. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I'm going to say cliches all night tonight, I guess.
What are you, an old timer or something?
Oh, crap. Leonard's coming out. Here comes Leonard.
Prick.
That's right, Leaky. Erroneous information about the nature of addiction is responsible. And Merck has been battling this on Facebook, posting some stuff about some dude who thinks he knows what's up when it comes to medicated assistance, right? Erroneous information about the nature of addiction is responsible for much improper and incomplete treatment that what? Leads to relapse. That's right.
No relapse in my life.
So we're going to look at some mood altering chemicals.
I got it.
Mood altering drugs are chemical agents that produce changes in our brain function by altering the chemistry of our brain. They say, don't do drugs, kids. It's bad for you. They remember that one that was like, just say no. And they'd crack that egg and it was boiling in the pan. That was pretty true. You start injecting this fentanyl, this heroin, this meth, even marijuana and alcohol, it's going to alter the chemistry of our brain. And now 1 or 2 times, whatever, right? But if you continue to use and abuse these drugs, that's another battle we got to face, is what we've done to our brain, our physical. We're going to talk about the biopsychosocial part of this addiction here shortly. Once brain function is altered, a person experiences physical, psychological, and behavioral changes as a direct result. These changes in a physical and psychological functioning and in behavior cause changes in social relationships. All mood-altering drugs have the potential to alter thinking, damage the mind, damage the body, and affect our behavior and our relationships, whether or not they're used addictively. The extent to which these consequences may occur depends upon the drug used, the person using the drug, and in some cases, the circumstance under which the drug is used. What do you think that means? Okay. We're talking about taking a chemical substance into our body. It changes our mind, our body, and our relationships. Now, to the extent these consequences occur depends on the drug, the person, and in some cases, the circumstances under which a drug is used. Could that possibly mean it's your first time using alcohol, you end up at a party passing out drunk, and you get, I don't like to say the word roughly, but taken advantage of, right? Girl's passed out and a couple guys take advantage of her. That's going to change some things huge after a one-time use, which what I'm saying is not like, oh, maybe one day that could happen to somebody. No, it happens a lot and has happened. And I've known people that it's happened to. I've seen it happen. Say I use drugs and I come home. Maybe it's my first time getting completely blackout drunk and I come home and get angry and beat Felice up. Now she's affected by a one-time use. You know what I mean? And then I wake up and I see what I've done and like everything has changed. These are things that happen. It's not like impossible scenarios we're talking about here. These are things that happen. The major addictive drugs. So we're going to look at some classified drugs. We're going to look at them in 4 groups. You got depressants, which are downers. You got uppers, stimulants, right? Painkillers, narcotics, and then you got mind benders, hallucinogens. The drugs typically found under each of these categories listed below. Okay, so we got downers, which are alcohol, sleeping pills, barbiturates, right? Minor tranquilizers, Librium, Valium. Those are all downers. Then you got your uppers. You got your amphetamines. You got your cocaine, nicotine, tobacco, and caffeine. Painkillers. You got narcotics, opiates. All that crap. And you got your mind benders, the hallucinogens, PCP, marijuana, and LSD, right? You might be going, what? Marijuana is a hallucinogen? It is. It's an audio hallucinogenic. That's why music is amazing on weed. You know what I mean? Vern? Hey, Vern, you know what I mean? Go ahead and talk for a minute.
Good job, Ramil. 3 months, 5 days, 15 hours, 53 minutes. Now let's get into these recovery prevention steps.
Yes.
Yes. So Jim still has the 11th this month was 9 years and 9 months. Continued sobriety, but last 2 months have been harder than the first 2 months.
Man, Jim, I'd love to see you in a meeting and talk about it if you're willing, brother.
Yep. Let's see. And then we had that newcomer. She said, Rachel, I'm a newcomer. Well, we're glad you're here. Going through Staying Sober by Terrence Skorsky. Hope you like it.
Look, I love all the emojis. That's like exactly. I love it.
That's how she feels right now.
Sick, pissed, frustrated, sad. I love it.
What are the blue faces?
Nailed it. I think it's a progression from pissed to sad.
Is that like the
Ooh, that's a roller coaster of emojis, man. Wow. Good job. I get it. I feel that too. I know where you're at, Rachel. Amen. Amen, Mel.
Yeah.
We're getting through this. We're going to get through this. It does get better. It does get easier. And you hear that and you're like, bullshit. How can this get easier? You know, and it does. It gets easier.
Sinks, my
That's all we can say. Like, that's all I can say.
Emojis on point.
We don't put ourselves in high risk situations, right? So we go over to Fleece's dad's and he's having a barbecue. Nobody's drinking but him. He's not like, drinking. He has a beer in his hand. And it was, and they worry about that with me. He's like, you all right with this? And I'm like, it doesn't even bother. Like, I am the scale. We learn this in addiction, right? Why does addiction start? Because we're like water. We're going to follow the easiest path. And when we see two paths, one that leads to less pain, that's the one we're going to go towards. And addiction and drugs were that for a long time. Like, oh, that's easier. I'm in a painful situation right now. I can go to recovery. I can do the work. I can go to meetings. That's hard. Oh, I can take drugs. And we kind of just want to slip down towards the drugs and alcohol. You start changing that reward system in your mind and you start seeing the benefit of recovery. You start understanding how great life can be sober and how much better work is and how much better your relationships are, how much better your mood is, like everything, right? 100 million pros. And all of a sudden you look at the drugs and the scales have now tipped. And I look at the alcohol and it's like, that's a road to pain. I don't want to touch that hot stove. I'm going to slip right down over here to recovery because that's easier and it feels so much better. And that's where, that's what I'm trying to say to newcomers that might be watching today is like, it does get better. It does not seem like it. I know I was there my first 6, 7, 8 months when your mind starts. I'm still hearing stories about freaking parties that I don't have a clue about. I'm just like, whoa, thank God I'm not like that no more.
Yeah, life can be hard, but doesn't mean you have to drink through it. Like Mr. Jim can attest to. He's got 9 years and he's still having a hard time every once in a while. I'm glad you're going to be there at the meeting tomorrow, Jim. Shane says, when you're an addict, you're kind of hanging onto a weather vane like Luke Skywalker with your hand cut off. Recovering addict is the Millennial Falcon turning around to come to rescue you. Yes. Perfect analogy.
I love it. That's
we
awesome.
are the Millennial Falcon. LT don't get it. He don't even know what it looks like.
I'm just laughing because it's a cool analogy that I don't get.
He'll like Star Wars eventually.
No.
I'll wear on him.
I'll relapse before I like Star Wars.
No, he won't. He's gonna love it.
You like Star Wars? No. Linky, you like Star Wars?
Heck yeah.
See? Yes.
It's just too boring.
It's so boring.
It's
So
not boring.
It's like Harry Potter. Yeah, boring.
It's not boring.
Oh, I got a joke.
Jenna's got
hold on.
lightsabers.
Take a microphone.
Lucky.
What does Star Wars and constipation have in common? They both use the Force.
Man, the Force
I'm gonna
be with
ask
you, Linky.
for everybody. Link, what are you wearing?
It's comfy.
He's
Wait,
wearing
hang
my
on. There's a
pajamas.
story behind this. So about, it's probably 14 years ago now.
Well, Link was just a baby. So
Okay,
he
12
was-
years ago. So it's about 12 years ago.
yeah,
We
Mila
had
was baby.
a couple, a husband and wife, fly over from India, and they were coming around visiting some local churches and
It's
stuff.
like 9.
And they stayed with Felice and I for a week.
They were cool.
Way cool. Taught us all kinds of stuff. His
Dr.
name was
P.
Dr. We called him Dr. P, but his name was Dr. Potamonidum.
That's why we called him Dr. P.
And we had him over, so we were like, hey, you ever had haystacks? Or like, what does haystacks? We're like, let's check it out. So we cook up some food and throw some we call haystacks, which is just a taco salad. We cook it right, and you mix it up good, salsa, all this stuff. We're chowing down. We're out in the back patio eating with these people, and they're like, you okay if we eat like where we come from, because these forks are weird? And we're like, absolutely. They throw the forks down and they eat with their hands. They're just like, we were like, whoa, let's try that. So we threw forks down and all of us are just eating with our hands. It was pretty cool. Anyway, this came from the wife of Dr. P from India. So this is a dress that the girls wear in India. Lake happened to dig it out while we were moving, put it on to make a joke, and was like, this thing's comfortable. And now he wears it as pajamas.
And he looks really good at it.
He looks so cute in it.
I look like a woman that got cancer.
At first, he was alopecia woman.
It's not like that.
Alan thinks he's the Star Wars, but he's really just the constipation. Are you the Force, Jeanette?
Is the moo on Easy Pay?
Yes. Call India. Call Dr. P.
Dr. P.
Dr. P.
That was some good times back then, man. That was really cool. All right, so addiction. Addiction is a condition in which a person develops biopsychosocial dependency. What? Say that again.
Oh, very cool, Jessica.
What?
Real quick. Husband has 34 days free from cocaine addiction today.
Yeah, fist bump to that emoji, arm up to that one, praying for you 100%, heart, love, stars in the eyes. And a puppy?
A king?
Oh, crown. Yeah. Heck yeah, Jessica. Proud of you.
Peter
Proud of
wants
him.
one. Add to cart.
Like more moo-moos.
Yes.
Hey, for Cherie, let's hit the Orange Justice for Link real quick.
Yeah, there you go, Cherie.
Put your head down so we can see that arrow.
Avatar does orange justice in a moo. Only here, folks.
Only at Recovering Addict. So addiction is a condition a person develops. Addiction. Listen to this, okay? Now, we have this talk, and it's kind of I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but is addiction a disease or is it not a disease? You got some of the, like my sponsor, he told me, LT, I'd never say addiction is a disease because I could not walk into a hospital and look at a terminally ill, stage 4 cancer patient and say, hey, I got a disease too, And I was like, okay, I get it. But then you look at all the studies that have been done and you're like, well, there's some evidence that it's a disease. So if you want, drop some stuff in the chat on what your opinion and thoughts are on addiction being a disease, because we're going to talk about that right here. Because addiction, right? This is what he says, Dr. Gorski. He says is a condition in which a person develops a biopsychosocial dependency on any mood-altering substance. Addiction is a condition a person develops. An addiction causes a person to use drugs for a short-term gratification, but there's a price to be paid. The addiction creates long-term pain and discomfort. An addiction is accompanied by obsession, compulsion, and loss of control. When not using, the person who suffers an addiction thinks about, plans, and looks forward to using again. This is the obsession. Using interferes with living. But there is a compulsion or overwhelming urge to use again despite long-term painful consequences. Excuse me. The addicted person uses the drug to relieve the pain created by using the drug. The addicted person uses the drug to relieve the pain created by using the drug. Thus, continued use of the chemical leads to continued use of the chemical. Hear that? Continued use of addictive chemicals lead to continued use of addictive chemicals. This is addiction. This is America.
Jessica Sheehy's husband sitting
Oh.
here with me says, "Thank you all so much and means everything, all by the grace of God."
Amen. By the grace of God,
Oh,
brother.
Congrats again on 30 days. Keep it up, man. Seem like you got a good wife there. Super proud. It's like a circle.
It is a terrible cycle, Mindy says.
Terrible. Terrible.
Terrible cycle.
Terrible.
Addiction is distinguished from drug use by the lack of freedom of choice. What? Addiction is distinguished from drug use by the lack of freedom of choice. Using a mood-altering substance is a choice. What? Does that sound like double talk?
Say again.
Addiction is distinguished from drug use by the lack of freedom of choice. Using a mood-altering substance is a choice. Addiction is a condition that robs a person of the choice and dictates the frequency, quantity, and nature of use. All addiction begins with use, but all use does not lead to addiction.
That makes sense. Ramil says, I've heard both make sense, but feel for those in the shoes I've been in, knowing the little control I've had over the reservations or the disregard for physical pain I ignore before, during, and after using. The steep.
Yeah.
All I can think about is how I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry circle.
What? I don't get it.
Is that a movie? Like, is Circle like a movie with Chuck and Larry? I feel like we haven't seen it. Glad you're here. We're excited you're here. What is Chuck and Larry? Jeanette. Makes sense though with that whole percentages thing of like how 90% of people can use but don't get addicted. It's
The
crazy.
continued use.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because some people it's a one and done, and other people it's like.
And then the continued use alters the chemistry of the brain. Because they alter chemistry in the brain, it needs more drugs. And that's another red flag we're going to talk about. The first red flag that most people don't even look at, don't even see coming. So addiction is a physical disease. Addiction is a physical disease, he says. It is properly classified with cancer, heart disease, and diabetes as a chronic illness that produces long-term physical, psychological, and social damage. Like victims of these other diseases, alcoholics have physical conditions that have caused them to be susceptible to developing the disease. While alcoholism is widely accepted as a disease today, until very recent years, it was considered a psychological or moral issue. The work of Dr. Jelinek in the 50s, 60s led to the acceptance of alcoholism as a disease by the American Medical Association, the American Medical Society of Alcoholism, the National Council of Alcoholism, the American Psychiatric Association, and the American Academy of Family Practice. It is also considered a disease by the American Psychological Association, American Public Health Association, American Hospital Association, and Worldwide Health Organizations. So if you were to ask the classifications of these great institutes, they are going to say that alcoholism and drug addiction is a disease. Bam. Just like cancer, just like diabetes, just like heart disease. Yes, it's classified. It is classified a disease.
It's one of them ones you don't know you have it till you have it.
Yep. Oh, Carla Bell.
What's up, Carla? Abby says the brain is a programmable tool
Bingo.
to actions. Knowing every thought leads somewhere. You now know the tool to becoming sober.
That is so true. It's the
Program it
most
as sober.
advanced computer on the planet, right? It may be lacking as far as efficiency because we don't have our memory. We only use 5 to 10% of our brains, or maybe less. But it is a programmable machine, our brains, and we can rewire and we can reprogram. It's not easy. It's not like clicking the update button on your phone, but we can over time to do it. And it takes hard work, but it is work worth it.
Well, if you think about it, somebody had to create the program that goes into your phone, and that took work.
Yep, no doubt.
Jessica's husband says for him, addiction is the epitome of spiritual warfare. True that.
Dude, it is like our sobriety is contingent on our spiritual welfare. And so here, recovering addict locally here in Utah, if you're in Utah, you're more than welcome to join us. But we go hiking every Sunday. And on these Sunday hikes, I don't listen to my typical music that I like to listen to if I'm just, kind of mindlessly running around in the streets listening, having my tins hit, Tool and dubstep. But I like to put on awesome Christian music that glorifies my higher power. And I listen and I meditate on the lyrics and the music of each song as it comes on. I have it in a Bluetooth speaker in my backpack, and I mindfully think on what the words are telling me as I'm enjoying nature and I'm enjoying my family. I unplug, and I connect spiritually, because my spiritual condition is, dude, you nailed it. Like, I see that big time, and I strive for that now.
Yeah, and brains are so cool. Like, a lot of our boy was in an accident, but it like messed up his whole frontal lobe, and like watching his brain rewire itself for everything that went there into like the other things was like pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, like, you tell him squeeze my hand, and we didn't know until the brain surgeon guy came in. He's like, no, the brain's got to like rewire, so it can take from like you saying the command, like squeeze my hand, and then it's got to go through and make new pathways in his brain. And then his brain has to tell his hand to like squeeze, and it could take up to like 5 minutes for his brain to rewire. But then once it rewired, like, it remembered that pathway, and every time it was faster. But it was really cool learning about brains and stuff. Back to Carla's comment. Hello, Carla. For me, cigarettes are an addiction. The muscle relaxer strives from my back is a choice I could turn down. I could never replace cigarettes. Yeah, cigarettes are an addiction. I was at the store, seen the first time, ran in the
car, turned the channel on, raced home, and threw the store bag at my husband, ran in to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, look, my mom's here.
Oh, they're in Ohio. Jessica's in Ohio. Awesome. We got
Oh,
some friends out
hi,
there.
Ohio. Round on the ends, high in the middle. Spell it. Makes sense.
Mommy Debbie Greiger says,
According to a survey from 2013, around 65% of Americans believe that we only use 10% of the brain. But this is just a myth, according to the interview of a neurologist.
really?
He explained that the majority of the brain is almost always active. And like Ep said, it's like on autopilot. That makes sense.
I'll have to study that before I start blurping that out anymore, huh?
Your brain hath been rewired.
Awesome. Thanks for this.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mama.
That's my mom, everybody. Tell her hi.
Felice's mommy. That's good stuff to know. So even among those who have accepted alcoholism as a disease, there has been a common belief that its primary cause is psychological. Dr. James has made a major contribution to the recognition of alcoholism as a primary physical disease. He has strongly asserted that psychological and social factors play no stronger role in alcoholism than any other chronic disease. He has challenged the notion that alcoholism is caused by a psychological susceptibility and presented the view that the body of a person who becomes addicted to alcohol does not react to alcohol in the same way a person who does not become addicted. I can attest to that. And I think the doctor's opinion back in 1939 in the Big Book of AA had that down. Alcohol is an allergy. It affects our bodies differently. We take a drink and it's like somebody that's allergic to strawberries and breaks out in hives, right? We take a drink and it's like, I ain't going to quit drinking until I wake up tomorrow and I don't remember what I did. We can't get enough. Thousands too many, and one's too many, and a thousand's never enough, right?
Yep.
Oh, yes, the talent show. Sunday, May 30th, Recovering Addict is going to have a virtual talent show. We have 6 people that are in the talent show. It's going to be a little fundraiser for the Whitney Project out in New York. $5 to get the unlisted link, and we can watch the show hosted by Asia. There's cash prizes for the winners. You're going to be able to vote on the talent, and we got some good talent. I'll tell you that right now. So hit Michael Teeter up right there. He is on Facebook, or you can hit him up in the Discord for more information.
Geesh said, get the Benadryl. because it's an allergy.
Get the Benadryl. We're gonna put our kids to bed. Get the Benadryl.
Benadryl may or may not cure alcoholism.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Oh yeah, plenty.
I think it does. No, don't do that.
What?
It's making me sneeze.
Yes.
Achoo! But for real, like seasonal allergies are the worst.
Yeah, it is.
Alcoholism allergy, also the worst.
So recent research in the recent years strongly supports this position. And others indicate some people are born with a body more susceptible to addiction than other people. So they're starting to see that there are people who are born with a body, just the way we're made up, that are more susceptible to becoming addicts than other people. And obviously that's me. While addiction is a primary physical disease, it is affected by and affects all areas of a person's life. For this reason, we call addictive disease a biopsychosocial disease. Bio means biological or of the body. Psycho means psychology of the mind. And social refers to relationships among people. Go ahead.
Jim says alcohol will lead to a sick, powerful mind. The longer you drink, the sicker your mind will get. Believe that.
Believe that.
Ep says if you have ever drank Kool-Aid, it'll tell you how your body reacts to sugars, which is why we keep drinking it. Why do you need to put 2 cups of sugar in 1 pint of Kool-Aid?
Because it tastes better.
It's insane. This is why we're all addicted to sugar, because we all had Kool-Aid as a kid.
Right?
Ah. She misses you.
Miss you, Jim.
Jimbo.
So addictive disease is biopsychosocial.
That's what JV just said too.
Go ahead.
Biopsychosocial.
The genetic, biological, psychological.
They were too big of words for me to read, so I just did that.
Substance consumption and should
be taken into account for its prevention and treatment.
Nice.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Thank you all for supporting. Just know that when you do support us, it goes right back into the community through either boosting the Discord server or, helping us with this equipment that you're looking at us through. We just bought a bunch of books. We're putting together recovery packages. And like I said, we are building something here locally that I think God is moving us to do. So we will see how that goes. The study of brain chemicals that affect the transmission of messages by nerve cells is advancing the understanding of addiction. But many of the answers that are being discovered are also raising new questions.
Ooh, new ones.
The whole process of chemical action in the brain is very complex, but it is very clear that the brain chemistry in an addicted person differs from that of a non-addicted person. We got a little bit different brain chemistry going on. Also, much is being learned from liver metabolism studies that shows that many people with family history of alcoholism metabolize alcohol, break it down and all that stuff, differently, even before there is an indication of problem drinking. These studies strongly support a genetic and a hereditary basis for addiction. So it is starting to look hereditary. People with a genetic predisposition for alcoholism are not predestined to develop the disease, but they are in high risk because of the way their bodies respond to alcohol. Look at your family history. How many of you in here have a family history of addiction or alcoholism? Ding, ding. I do. Dates back as far as the ancestry books will let me know. Both sides of my family. A person must use alcohol or drugs to become addicted. You got to use them at some point. You make the choice, right? That's where it's a disease of choice. And I think that Unwoven Pleasure documentary you can find on YouTube. Is it Pleasure Unwoven?
Pleasure Unwoven.
Yeah, Pleasure Unwoven describes it the same way. Because of our predisposition to become addicted, because we chose to start taking substances and continued use, it becomes the disease. So it's a disease of choice. So right now, if you're on the other side of this camera and you've never touched it, but you have alcoholics or addicts in your family, just stay away. We've touched the stove, see the scars on our hands. John has family as well, and run. But obviously,
In
we're
my
addicts.
blood.
It seems like us addicts have to learn the hard way about everything. I know I do. She has. Kat does.
I think I asked that before. Like most people had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. So a person must use alcohol or drugs to become addicted. The extent of the genetic predisposition will influence how much alcohol and drug use over what period of time will be necessary to trigger the addiction. Obviously, it's going to kick off at some point. Different people have different levels of genetic or inherited susceptibility to addiction. In some people, a small amount of alcohol or drug use over a short period of time will trigger the addiction. Other people must use alcohol and drugs heavily for a long period of time for the addictive disease to develop. Story time. Jack began to use alcohol at age 19. The first time he used alcohol, he drank more than he intended to, got drunk, got into trouble because of his drinking. Jack never had a day of normal drinking. By age 26, only 7 years after his first drink, Jack was in the hospital seriously ill from his alcoholism. Later, in his AA talk, Jack would describe himself as an instant alcoholic. Bill, on the other hand, also began drinking at 19. He seldom got drunk. His first noticeable problems with alcohol began at age 34. Alcohol didn't cause serious problems until he was 46. Bill had 15 years of seemingly normal drinking before his alcoholism became apparent. People begin to use alcohol or drugs for psychological or psychosocial reasons. They drink because it makes them feel good, right? Psychological reasons, because other people do, because it helps them to belong, or because they are pressured into doing so, right? Social reasons. People become addicted for physical reasons. They develop a tolerance. It takes more of the drug to produce the same effect. The cells of the body adapt to high levels of the drug and begin to function normally when it is present. That was me. I remember drinking a pint and getting the spins when I laid down. And then I remember drinking a pint and it was like, I'm not drunk enough. I need to go get a fifth. And to drink the fifth and not get a spins, you know? So that increase in tolerance, this leads to dependency. The body comes to need the drug. Abstinence from the drug will result in physical withdrawal, causing discomfort and illness. The more people use chemicals to feel good, the less they learn to use more effective ways to experience and cope with feelings, situations, and people. They do not learn, or they forget to use other methods of coping. Their dependency has become psychosocial as well as physical. All areas of life are affected. The pain that develops when an addicted person stops using alcohol or drugs is called withdrawal. Some of you may be going through withdrawal right now or have experienced it as I have. Withdrawal is biopsychosocial. Part of the pain of withdrawal is created by a physical damage to the body's need for the addictive substance. We've damaged our bodies. Part of the pain is caused by the psychological reaction to losing the primary method. Now we've lost the primary method to cope with life. So physically, socially, crap, I can't cope with life without it. The use of addictive drugs without the use of addictive drug, right? So part of the pain is social, caused by the separation from the addiction-centered lifestyle. It becomes a lifestyle, a habit that we are used to. So it affects all three areas, and you're ripping yourself in a whole nother direction in all three areas of your life, and you're trying to repair all three. Physical withdrawal develops in two phases. The first is called acute withdrawal and lasts for, okay, listen to this. If you're going through it right now, okay? If you're, 10 days, if you're 20 days, whatever, just listen. Physical withdrawal develops in two phases. The first is called acute withdrawal that lasts for 3 to 10 days. At one time, people believed that the pain of withdrawal passed within several days. Recent research, however, indicates that withdrawal is long-term and may last for months or even years into sobriety. This long-term withdrawal, called post-acute withdrawal, we're going to discuss in detail as we go through the rest of this book. And I don't want you to be discouraged by hearing years and years and years, but want you to understand that the battle that you may be in for. It depends on you, how you're recovering, and how much of whatever chemicals you are putting into your body. Thank you, Mel. Appreciate that, brother. The best way to get through it is to start taking on health, right? Getting out and going for walks and getting your blood flowing, drinking lots of water, taking your vitamins and eating healthy. That's going to help the process along. But it's a 2-year thing. We've, like with Link, when he got his head crushed, they said there's some brain damage that he may have that we may not know about until he's 18 and up into his 20s, because it takes the brain so long to develop and so slow to heal. The brain is the slowest healing part of your body, from what we've learned. And that's kind of what we're going through. We've messed up our brains chemically, or the chemistry of our brains through these chemicals. And now we're trying to rewire and heal from that. And it could last up to a couple of years. I don't say that to be discouraging, but to keep pressing, to start learning that the stuff and feelings and moods that you're going through are possibly caused by this post-acute withdrawal, and understanding and knowing that is going to help you battle that so that you don't go back into relapse. That's what this whole book is about, a guide for relapse prevention. The more you know, the better prepared you're going to be to combat what you're about to go through. And every week, every month, every 6 months, it gets better. Trust me, I can attest to that. Life is still life. Life still happens. You got your ups, you got your downs, you got your flat tires, you got your jerks out there, but you're able to get through it, understanding acceptance and the tools taught through AA, the 12 steps, and just being a part of a community. Join us every day here on the Discord at 1:00 p.m. Mountain Time for a daily recovery meeting. We are going to here locally, if you're local, at 6:00 every day, work out and have a meeting right there, person to person. So if you're in Utah, please join us. Yeah. I'm going to yell real quick, so I'm going to mute my microphone. So what do y'all think
really,
about
Jim?
that? What?
Jim has some permanent brain damage. Interesting.
Run like hell. Where's Millie?
Billy. Come on.
Run like hell.
Oh, yeah. Shout out John V. He says,
Come here.
let me find it real quick. Where'd it go, John?
Attention.
Tuesday on the Venture Forward.
Yes, y'all. If you want some more support, like I've said before, with the internet and the plethora of this community, there is no excuse for you now to not reach out. If you say I couldn't reach out, I didn't have the support, I'm gonna call BS on that right now, because you do. You have it here at Recovering Addict, and you have it on the Venture Forward as well. He talks about, and this Tuesday he's going to talk about his dad at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p is Pacific time. My goodness. But join his YouTube channel, hit that like button and subscribe. John, if you can, drop a link to it, or somebody. Does John have a wrench? Can he drop that link? But yeah, join John for sure on the Venture Forward. Great podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. Tonight after the stream, Teeter's going to open a Zoom and so if you want to instantly go into the Discord, click the Zoom link. Teeter and some folks will be in there to chit chat with y'all if you need some support. Ready?
Your tongue matches your pajamas.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
And dear Lord,
Oh.
I want to help out the suffering addict out there, help them to find sobriety and stay sober. And they all said, Amen.
Amen.
And we all said amen.
And we all said amen.
John says, we recover better together by staying safe, staying sane, staying strong, and staying sober. You're worth it. Good night, family. And he says, I love you all.
I love you too.
Love you guys. Congrats again, Raylene and Kyle.
Kool-Aid. Crashing through the wall, Kool-Aid.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Cat M.
There it is. There
Rebrand.
it is.
Can I copy and paste it? Nope.
All right, you guys, we'll be back Tuesday to continue on in this chapter 2 of Staying Sober with Terrence Gorski. Until then, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your programs, and remember,
We recover better together.